Yeah, and I don't know how technical you want me to get, but the master gland in human physiology is called the pituitary. And all the hormones feed back on the pituitary. And when estrogen elevates in a male, it shuts off a major releasing hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone. And that is what drives both male sperm and testosterone production. So if you give a man estrogen of any form, you will shut off testosterone, you will shut off sperm, and there's a parallel epidemic of that going on. Now, women's infertility is also quite bad. Oxford published a study years ago that said 1 in 11 women in the world are infertile, top causes being insulin resistance and obesity, similar causes in men along with the estrogen toxicity. But in this country, when couples show up to fertility clinics, 1/3 of the time it's the male who's not making adequate sperm, or the sperm that he's making is so weak that it can't swim to the egg.
Wow. All right, so I'm confused about something. And what I'm confused about is that we have seen now for decades women really getting to their own power, to the point that we're now experiencing them to be in government. We're experiencing them as CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. We are experiencing them as people starting small businesses and running them. They are more than capable of making their own income and do not need men anymore for the traditional reasons, which used to be security and money. Now, what's left for men to offer if they don't have that to offer? I would say second, sex and reproduction. And now you're telling me that that's not working really well either. So are we at the core of the problem here? That is this what's really going on? Why men are in trouble, in general?
Well, I think it is. I really do. Now, there's obviously been some social changes over the years that will be a parallel issue going on. Mm-hmm. But, you go back to the beginning of time, you're right. A man was looking for a mate, and a woman was looking for protection and someone to provide. And like you said, that all seems to be gone. So the divorce rate is at an all-time high. And I don't see that changing.
Well, especially, you see, with using the media, most of my shows we've done so far, Bob, I've been focusing on the way the media works and the highly sophisticated methodologies they use with the flicker rate that they use an alpha state, and then they can program any image they want. They use high emotional content, and then through identification with roles, they can entrance any population to do anything they want. And so, while I was
who's they, Dr. Brown? Who are you referring to?
Whoever they are, and like I just found out in my research today, that the television industry is owned and operated primarily by 100 different corporations that actually are apparently they're the big controllers with the main money that runs everything. It cascades from there. I don't know who they are, and as far as I'm concerned, they can go to hell. I am 1,000% against them, so I don't care who they are. And all I want to do is expose to as many people who can listen how they're being manipulated, because there's nothing worse than manipulation. But you know what I was thinking of while you and Bob were talking? Because you asked
What?
Bob, you said, so is this the whole thing? Think of a tank, okay, and a tank crew. So Bob is describing the tank. They're making the tank. If a tank is the man, it's being made by real weak, inferior, garbage parts. It can't pull the job for war anymore. And then the tank crew socially has been demasculinized because the great male role models have disappeared. the older men aren't initiating the younger men anymore. They don't know what to do or how to find manhood or even what being a man means. And like, since the women don't seem to want us, or like Robert Bly says, the only thing a woman wants these days is a domesticated male, if they want one at all. They don't want a man with any kind of guts or real initiative or real drive, because it scares the hell out of them. They look too wide.
Okay, let me get this straight. So domesticated, you mean a man that stays home, takes care of the kids, and takes the traditional model, what we know, usually what women do. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. The nice little guy that's a gutless wonder, very tame, never says anything because of political correctness, scared to death to do anything, say anything, pushes the baby around in the baby carriage. Meanwhile, the wife's out having a tennis game with the girls. Those kind of guys are the people I want to try to help if I can reach them. And